Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 13, the final week of college football. So I'm going to miss it, man. This is the end of 2023, and I guess no more weekly updates till next season. I normally don't do bowl season or conference championships, but I might do it this year. I think I did it last year. I can't remember if I did the conference championships. We'll look at it and see. Last week we went 4-1. So in the past 2 weeks we had 10 wins and 1 loss, which is really good. Looking forward to finish out. This week strong, the closing week strong, and do really well. So that puts us winning all 3 months again this season, and then I won all 3 months last season. So that's 2 years in a row I've won, 6 months total. So not too bad. And right now we're at 40 wins, 27-1. So as you can see, we're right there. We're so close to being right there. I thought this was going to be impossible to reach, but we're doing quite well, and surging. And hard to believe that when we started, we had I think we lost 6 games in a row. So just imagine if we didn't start out week 1 so horrible. All right, so let's get into week 12 notes. Last week of college football, we talked about that just now, and hopefully you guys did really well this season, made some good money. I did really well with some parlays and some sports picks, as you guys can tell. Oregon, the dark horse for the college football playoffs. That's who I kind of like. I think Oregon is really hot. I'm really looking forward to. Hopefully, it should be Oregon and Washington for a rematch. That's who I think it should be, right? For the Pac-12, and I'm going to miss the Pac-12 when it all breaks apart, man. I really like watching those games over there on the West Coast late at night. Hopefully they still have something like that. It's a shame that everything's getting mixed up. But I really do like Oregon, and to me, they're my dark horse. I really like to see what Oregon can do against a legitimate team like Ohio State and, maybe a Georgia or something like that. But also this year, I didn't write this down, but this is the last year for the 4-team playoff. Next year, we're going to that 12-team. So a lot of things are happening next year. So it's going to be really interesting to see how I do next year. But the 12-team playoff is going to be quite interesting to see how all that works out. Really looking forward to next year, guys. Ohio State versus Michigan. I wasn't going to bet on this game, and then I received a lot of emails that you guys wanted me to make my prediction for this game. So we're going to save that for a comment because I wrote that on the other side of this board. Win this week and will be better than last year. So if I win all my games this week, I would actually have a better record. But we'll see. We'll see how it all turns out. It'd be really close. Hey, look, there's a lot of people who can't even get to this level. What's that guy's name? Steve or whatever his name is on college football game day. I mean, he's worse than Bear. I mean, he's got 10 wins and 30 losses. It's completely horrible. I don't know why they haven't called me up yet. I guess they want me to still do YouTube videos, or they just don't want to hand it to me. Anyway, I was watching college football the other day, and I was watching this reporter, and her name is Smacker Miles. And I was like, man, what a crazy name. Why in the world would you name your daughter Smacker? And it even said it on there, Smacker Miles. I thought that was great. I was like, Smacker. And then I started doing some more research. I was like, her name cannot be Smacker. I mean, come on. Her parents have to give her a better name than Smacker. Because it sounds like a domestic abuse case or something, What happened? Oh, I smacked her up, or something. But She is the daughter of Les Miles, and I remember Smacker. Her name's not Smacker. I forgot what her actual name is. I didn't write it down, but I watched her, during the LSU years when she was super young. So it was kind of nice to actually watch her do college football games and be a reporter on the sideline and actually watch what she wanted to do. She's a great swimmer, won a whole bunch of awards and everything else. So really proud of her. And hey, look, I'm just glad that she's going by her nickname Smacker Miles, man. Nobody's going to forget that. That's a great name to have, because that's definitely a name that you're not going to forget about, down the road when you're thinking about reporters or anything else. It's not going to be like, what was that guy's name? Bob Jones, Jones Bob, whatever. This is Smacker Miles, So, all right, guys, enough of that. Let's go into week 13, Ohio State at Michigan. Man, Michigan pulled out a close one. I told you, man, that Rutgers, man, it could be a whole different thing. It could be, I was expecting a trip up with Ohio State. Ohio State just steamrolled Rutgers. Ohio State beat Maryland, and Michigan struggled against Maryland. And I think we're starting to finally see the Harbaugh effect of Jim not being there. And now there's talks about Jim not even playing next year or even coaching. He's going to be suspended the whole entire season next year. Just so much stuff going on with Michigan. Michigan's minus 3.5 in the Big House. And this game is just way too big not to have your head coach not there. This is really going to be really difficult for Michigan to win this game. I know there's going to be a lot of momentum. I know there's going to be that added rival. Michigan has won this game twice the past 2 years, and Ohio State won it, I think, the past 8 years after that. Coach Day from Ohio State, he's going to go in there and he's going to be playing all out. But if I was to look at this and I was to sit there and break this down and go by coaching staff, because, the players are pretty much there, equal weight. This is going to be a relatively very close game. And this is on November 25th at 11 a.m. There's a couple games on here that are not going to be on, like you can see down below. November 24th is the Oregon game. But I think this is going to come down to coaching experience and coaching in these big games. And if I have to go with coaching experience, I want to go with Ryan Day and Ohio State on this and take the plus 3.5. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to come down to a field goal at the end. Ohio State has a lot to prove, and they want to be in the college football playoffs. And there's just so much to this game that just requires them to win this game and go out in style points and stay in the playoff hunt and keep moving forward. So for my upset pick of the week, I'm going to go with Ohio State plus 3.5. And for all those people who were sitting there saying, oh, no, Sevens, of course you're going to go with them and all blah, 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 blah. Hey, look, originally I had Michigan to win this all. It's the latest events has turned that around and everything else. But for a long time, I had Michigan. In fact, I was even promoting looking forward to this game for Michigan to beat Ohio State. But with no Jimmy Boy there and everything else going on, I just got to lean on Ohio State to win a close one on this one. So it'll be really interesting. Either way, whatever happens, we the fans win on this game no matter what, because we get to watch a really good game. Okay? All right. Next up, we have Oregon State at Oregon. Do they even call it the Civil War game anymore? I know they were coining that phrase racist now, and along with so many other things that got thrown out during, a few years back. But I'm still going to call it the Civil War game until I know that it got changed into like the Animal game, the Animal Bowl, or whatever you want to call it, the duck versus the beaver, bowl, or whatever you want to call it now. Might as well call it Animal Farm Bowl. Hey, how about that? Animal Farm. Anyway, Oregon State played a really great game against Washington, just couldn't pull it out at the end. Oregon, man, they are probably the legitimate number one team for the one-loss team out there. They are, to me, like I said, the dark horse. They are playing really great. Dan Landing, the head coach over there, has really got his team zeroed in. Bo Nix, who I absolutely love. I'm going to be so sad when he leaves because, like I said before, he was my first sports pick on this channel back in 2019, and and just hard to think about, how long ago that's really been, even though it doesn't sound that long ago. I mean, that's almost going on over 5.5 years, so, or somewhere around there, 4.5 years, 5 years, somewhere around there. Either way, it's been a long time for a player to be playing that long, and I wish him all the success, moving on into the NFL. And like I said, he is definitely one of the candidates for the Heisman. So, and he is definitely going to get his spotlight right now against Oregon State. And Oregon is minus 13.5 in this game. It is on November 24th at 7:30 p.m., which I believe is Black Friday. I believe so, because November 25th is Saturday, if I remember correctly. So November 24th, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is going to be a really close game. Minus 13.5. I know Oregon has just been destroying teams. I think they played Arizona State last week, and I mean, just blew the doors off of them. But they've been winning because I've been picking them to win every single week, and I'm not going to change anything. So spoiler alert, guess what I'm going to do, and that is correct for everybody that's been following me. Oregon, money line. It works every single time. I mean, why change up a really good thing right now when we've been picking Oregon money line, and we could have easily picked the point spreads and covered. In fact, I did a parlay last week where I was trying to hurry up and make the Oregon bet right when the game kicked off, and I took the money line, and I was like, I think it was like minus 22 Oregon. I was like, man, hopefully they cover that, and I can cover the rest of the spreads, and man, they easily covered it. So, but this one's going to be a little bit closer to the vest. This is going to be a really close game, so I feel pretty confident going Oregon money line. All right. This ought to be interesting. Texas A&M at LSU. LSU is minus 11. This is also on Saturday, November 25th at 11 a.m. So you got two games. So you might want to get two TVs, or you don't even care about the LSU game, but you're going to be concerned about the Ohio State game. But for no sevens, I'm going to have two TVs going, watching this. This is going to be the Jimbo game. Well, Jimbo is no longer there, so I can't make that story like I was wanting to. LSU is continuing to keep on playing at a great level. And if there was a 12-team playoff like there will be next year, LSU would be in the running for that. Hard to believe, even with 3 losses. 3 great quality losses, Ole Miss, Alabama, and Florida State. So not this year. So LSU is trying to get to a 10-win season. The question that comes down to this is whether or not Texas A&M, the players are going to be in this, because their head coach is gone. The players going to be pretty much checked out. I believe they're going to be going to a bowl game, so they still have some reason to keep on playing hard. But I don't think it's going to be the intensity that it once was. But anything could happen. These games have always come down pretty close, except for the 2019 game when Joe Burrow just went in there and just extracted revenge, and I think the score was like 58-7 or something like that. For the game that ended up the year before with 7 overtimes, and what ultimately changed college football overtime. So this is going to be an 11 a.m. kickoff. I know Jaden Daniels wants to beat some records. I know he tied Joe Burrow with 8 touchdowns last game, against Georgia State, somebody that doesn't even really count as far as anything. But he wants to keep putting up style points, and he wants to keep up making a case for the Heisman. And this is his last game to do that. So look for him to come out and play with his hair on fire. Pretty much just take over the offense. I'm waiting for Jaden Daniels to throw the ball up in the air, and he's going to catch it and run it in for a touchdown or something crazy. That's what I'm waiting for next, because he seems to be doing it all anyway. This game is at 11 a.m., so this game is going to be relatively pretty close. LSU does not play that well during the day. They play better at night. So look for this to be a close game, but I think with Jaden Daniels continuing to keep on putting his foot on the gas pedal, I really like LSU, and with no Jimbo Fisher, I'm going to take LSU minus 11. So locked it in. All right, next up. This is the 23rd. So what day is that? I want to make sure I'm telling you correctly, so hold on. Yeah, so like I figured, November 23rd, Thanksgiving night. So when you're eating turkey and you're all fat and happy, this game is going to be going on at 6:30 p.m. All right. And it's Ole Miss at Mississippi State. This is the Egg Bowl. And guys, I go to Mississippi almost weekly, every other week. And man, you can really see the pride, and you can see the difference in what part of the state you're in when you go to Mississippi. In the South, it's Mississippi State, and in the North, it's Ole Miss. And man, they are proud to wear those colors. And man, if you're in the wrong bar and you're wearing the wrong colors, whether it's heavy Mississippi State and you're going into wearing Ole Miss colors, man, you're going to get some dirty looks. It's kind of funny, actually. They take that pretty serious. It's kind of like Alabama and Auburn. But Ole Miss is doing really well. As I think Mississippi State, they fired their head coach. I don't even think they're playing in a bowl game. I think this is their last game of the week, or the season, I should say. And then it's a rebuild and everything else. And Will Rogers, the quarterback, I don't know if he's coming back or if he's going to go to the draft for Mississippi State. But Ole Miss still has a lot to play for. I know they got the doors blown off of them against Georgia. So look for them to extract a little revenge in this. And, I know they're going to have the cowbells over there and everything else. But Lane Kiffin still has a lot to play for. And he still has a chance to get into a New Year's Six bowl game. Try to say that a couple times fast. And so look for Ole Miss. And I was really shocked to see only minus 10 for this. I would have expected a minus 20 or anything else. So I really like Ole Miss. So let's go ahead and lock in Ole Miss to easily cover that minus 10. And look for them just to railroad Mississippi State in this rival game in the Egg Bowl on Thanksgiving. Okay, so we got that one all locked in. The next one is November 24th, which is going to be that Friday at 3 p.m., is Missouri at Arkansas. Poor Arkansas, man. They're just getting beat. Not as bad as what happened to Auburn last week with that beating. What was it? New Mexico they lost, or New Mexico State? It was something bad. I mean, oh man, I'm not even going to talk about it. That was just like, who did they lose to? But anyway, Missouri's only lost 2 games, LSU and Georgia, and the LSU game was pretty close, and the Georgia game it was close for maybe the first quarter, maybe even leading up into halftime. Then Georgia just took over. But look for Missouri to finish out strong. Look for Arkansas to play this game pretty well, because this is kind of like a heated rival. It's the border states and everything else. But look for Missouri to take over this game. Look for Arkansas to keep this pretty competitive over the next couple of series and everything else. They might even keep this game pretty close, because they really have nothing to play for after this game. So they're playing for their head coach, to keep their head coach there. They're playing for recruits. They're playing for whatever they can, and it's at home. They would like to beat Missouri, but Missouri is just really good this year. Look for Missouri to keep on moving forward, and to have to go for a 10 game winning season this year. So that's who I'm really pulling for. I think -7.5 would be a little too much. So I'm just going to take the really easy. They're giving Missouri the money line. It's -300. I really like it. Anything below 600, I'm definitely a fan of money lines. So no sevens is going to go with the Missouri money line. Okay, so we got that all locked in. I was going to add in another one. I was going to do the Texas game and some others, but this is 5 of them. So, and I know I got to get to 7 wins, so I know I'm going to be short. So, it's okay. It's okay. I might have to do the the championship games, and who knows, I might just end up doing the championship games. All right, so to recap, we got Ohio State plus 3.5, Oregon money line, LSU -11, Ole Miss -10, Missouri money line. I think that's everybody. Okay, so for my crazy parlay this week, because we got to do one last crazy parlay. And my parlay hit. So I did 2 parlays. So I told you last week, I said, if we do one, we're going to do one with Michigan and one without Michigan. Well, the one with Michigan didn't happen. They barely beat Maryland. But everybody else hit. So if you were like me, you did both, and you got paid, hopefully, a little bit of money, and you did quite well. All right? So we have Ole Miss -10, Missouri money line, Texas money line, Penn State money line, Bama money line, Tennessee money line, Liberty. You're like, Liberty. All right, yes, Liberty. Washington money line, Georgia money line, Oregon money line, and Ohio State plus 3.5. Now, if you want to fade Ohio State, you can fade it and not do Ohio State. If you want to add somebody else, you can even do Missouri -7.5 if you want to, or you can do another team with some point spreads, or you can just completely get rid of Ohio State. The way I did it this week, I have all these teams, and then I have Ohio State for this one, like this, and then the other one I have not Ohio State, but I have LSU -11. And then I have a third one with either LSU and Ohio State, but the rest of them on the board. So I did 3 parlays that I did personally, and those are the 3. One with Ohio State, one without Ohio State, but LSU -11, and one without LSU, and one without Ohio State and LSU. So guys, this is my week 13. Sorry I kept it a little too long, but this is who I'm going with. This is my final week. Let me know if you want me to do the conference championship week. I'll see if I can't pick some teams. That's going to be really close. That's going to be some good teams, and see how we do. But other than that, guys, I really appreciate another great season with you. I hope you made some money. I hope I made you some money. I hope you guys had a lot of fun with this. I know a lot of you don't watch it. I only get like 40 or 50 reviews, every single week. But I do it for you guys, the guys that pay attention. So, maybe if more people tuned in and actually followed what I was betting on, they would actually increase their bankroll. I know I hit one mega parlay in the very beginning, and I increased my bankroll I increased it by 4 times by hitting that mega parlay. And then I restarted all over. I cashed all that money out, and I hit the parlays and everything else with you, and I tripled my bankroll from that week. I think that was week 3 or 4 after I cashed out, and I started all over again, and I still tripled my bankroll from college football this year. So there's no reason why you guys can't do that either. Following me and doing everything else. I've been a pretty good, consistent winner since 2019. Like I said, the only year I didn't do well was 2020. I don't even count COVID year. But guys, I hope you had a great season with me. I'm looking forward to getting back to craps, doing some great craps videos. I got a whole bunch of stuff lined up for you, and going from there. So everybody have a great Thanksgiving. Have a great time with everybody. Be safe. Don't punch anybody in the face trying to get a big screen TV on Black Friday, and just tell everybody hello and treat everybody nice. And one recommendation that was given to me from Cooking with Cleavage, she said that the best thing to do when you're meeting your family and you don't want to deal with them, just take a whole bunch of edibles. And that way you're perfectly fine. You're all mellow, and it doesn't matter who says what. You're just off in your corner, just totally relaxed. So that's my tip from Cooking with Cleavage. All right. So No Sevens is going to sign out, and I'll see you next week or the week after for a follow-up. So take care.